when you seek the teachers, they will come. And hopefully this is a moment for you that I can be like, hey, I think you're awesome, but I think you're giving your power to something that you literally need to steal it back from. You need to go take it back and take control and create it for yourself, even if it's small scale. In fact, I think small scale is the way to start. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. It's time for another quickie because there's always time to fit in inspiration. And I had such a fun night last night. We are doing our live podcast recordings at the Good Vibes Media Studio. And it's so much fun because not only do we get to do podcasts, which we love, but I get to do it with one of my best friends, Lindsay Schwartz, who also has the Powerhouse Women podcast. And we get to do it in front of a live audience, which is amazing because I have been wanting to be with more community in person, and we might drink wine sometimes. So that's super fun too. And it's just fun to connect with everybody and to be able to meet everyone and see their faces as we're chatting. And I think it brings out like a little bit different part of our personalities too, because it just feels like we're in our living room with the girls that we invited over to drink wine with and talk about the stuff that we actually want to talk about. And last night was so much fun because we were talking about choosing to anoint ourselves and to cut out the middleman and what that looks like. But before I get into that, I just landed actually we stay in Arizona for January, February, and March. So we were at our Arizona place, but we just landed in California to do an interview with Lewis House. So we're headed over to the Greatness Studios to interview him on his new book, which I'm so excited about. If you guys don't know about his new book, you're going to have to listen to the interview that's coming out really soon and go grab that book because Lewis has been one of our biggest mentors. We joined his mastermind. He obviously has one of the biggest podcasts out there for a reason, and he's just really honed in on his zone of genius, and I'm excited to be able to go be in his atmosphere because I literally learn so much from him every time that we get to sit with him. So back to the topic. Where in your life are you waiting to be anointed by someone else, right? Where in your life are you waiting to get noticed? Where in your life have you given the power away to someone else, thinking that it's in their hands to say yes to you? Now, in some cases, this may be true, but I still think that we have more control than we believe. What do I mean by that? So I want to share a story about the first time that I really realized that I had the ability to take my power back and anoint myself. What does that mean? So let's see, what year was this? This was probably 2005 or 2006. I was living and we had just lost our home that we had bought. We had short sold it. We were $300,000 in debt. My husband got laid off from his job because it was the finance crisis that was going on in 2007, 2008. And I was working random jobs. I was working at an Ulta doing makeup. I was working at a place called Joe to Go that did drive-through coffee. You guys, I didn't graduate high school. I'd gone back to try to get my GED and I could not complete math on my own. Like I was in a bad place. I was like, I'm so dumb. I can't do anything. I can't complete anything. Who am I going to be? What am I going to do? And fast forward a couple years to I think this was now 2007, 2008. And I had vision boards up in the small condo that we moved into after we lost our house. And I was starting to want to get into personal training. So I was taking the personal training courses and I maybe had one or two clients at the time. I'm not sure. And so I remember I also wanted my big dream, my kind of big secret private dream that was all over my house, but I wasn't really sharing it too much with people outside or that I knew, was I wanted to be on a fitness cover. I wanted to inspire people the way that I had been inspired by these incredible women on these covers, that I had carried around these magazines until they were tattered and dog-eared, and I just clung to those like it was life. And I just felt like if they could do it, maybe I could do it too. And I had put them all over my vision board. And I remember at this point, I'd done quite a few fitness competitions and photo shoots, and I was sending them to magazines and getting rejected over and over again. And I couldn't figure out why I was getting rejected. And, some of the rejections were coming back and saying, you don't have the all-American look. At the time I was, I'm Native American and I had dark hair and dark eyes. And they're like, you look too exotic. We're looking for more of the girl next door. Yes, I know. This is not that long ago. And these were some of the responses I was getting, you guys. Crazy to think about now. Or just, we're not interested. Thank you so much. Like just so many different rejections, creative rejections. And I kept trying. And I remember it was probably 3 to 4 years in of me constantly submitting. I was consistent. I submitted like every 2 months for that entire time with new angles, different angles. Like, how about now? How about now? How about this photo shoot? How about I won this competition? Do you see me yet? Do you see me? Do you see me? Do you want to anoint me? Am I your girl? Am I good enough? Am I good enough? Am I good enough? Oh my gosh. Do you guys know what I'm talking about right now? Am I good enough? When will I be good enough? When am I going to be good enough to you? Like, when are you going to see what I believe I have to offer? And so I'm standing in front of this vision board and I'm looking at these covers and I have this moment. I have this moment where I realize that this may never happen. It's starting to feel really bleak. And I had a freaking breakdown fit. My bed was right next to where I hung my vision board and I threw myself on it and I was literally pounding my fist on the bed and screaming, like having a full on just tantrum breakdown moment. And it probably lasted, I don't know, what was probably only a minute, but felt like 5 minutes to have the realization that nobody was listening to me. And it's kind of that moment where you're like, okay, well, no one's coming and I'm crying and wailing and this is kind of a lot of effort and I'm kind of tired. So it's like, okay, I think I'm done. I got that out of my system. And I stood back up like in this snotty, dripping, teary-eyed, pathetic, mopey moment. And I just hated how I felt. I just hated that that was what I was doing in that moment. I was just pissed that I even had succumbed to like this low moment of just anger. And I looked at that vision board again and I was like, why do I want this? Can I be okay if I never get it? What is the actual feeling that I'm after? Don't ask me why some of these questions were coming into my head and they never came in before. I really believe sometimes God interjects in those moments and is like, hey, dummy, how about we look at it this way? Love you, but come on, let's take a second. And I was like, what do I want this for? And I thought that the magazine covers were going to bring me, number 1, validation. Number 2, community. Number 3, I wanted to inspire people and I wanted to be that inspiration. And it was going to bring me this feeling of finally good enough, or finally I have something that I feel like I'm doing that I feel proud of. And I thought, do I need them for that? Or could I literally cut them out of the equation and create that for myself? Hey y'all, if you didn't know, Earn Your Happy is now a part of the Growth Day Podcast Network. This is so exciting to me because I have been looking for a really good home for the show for, I can't even tell you, years, literally. And now I've finally been able to come together and collaborate with other people who have incredible shows, and I want to share them with you. One of the shows is Motivation with Brendon Burchard. And you guys, if you don't know about the beginning of my career, I literally started with Brendon Burchard's work. It's how I launched one of my very first online courses and membership sites, was because he gives so much advice that you can integrate and implement immediately. And that's what you're going to get on the show. Not just motivation, but you're going to learn exactly how to get your stuff out in the world. And not just that, but Brendon runs in the most incredible group of humans who are really doing the thing out in the world that you want to be doing. So go check it out. Go subscribe to Motivation with Brendon Burchard. I promise you, this is going to be one of those shows that no matter when you tune in, you're going to get value. Like, it's not one of those that you're like, God, I listened for 30 minutes and I didn't get what I wanted. Like, from the beginning, you're going to get something that changes your life or changes your business. So go check it out. Motivation with Brendon Bouchard. I know you're going to love it. I'm obsessed. Could I go and inspire people in my community? Could I start small groups? Could I start small? Why do I have to be so big? Why does it have to be so big right away? Why can't I start getting this feeling locally? Why can't I start this in small groups? Why can't I start with 4 women? Why can't I invite 4 women to a workshop and, work on inspiring them there and getting them to feel like their best selves and getting them to start owning their confidence and their power? So I started all of these weekend workshops. And so I started speaking. And so I started filming myself on YouTube, recording recipes. So I wrote a cookbook and self-published it, sold it myself. And all of these things, as I put my head down and cut out the middleman and said, you know what, F you. Like, just for a minute, it felt really good to be like, I don't need you. And that is where the magic happened. I'm not saying to get angry or be mad at people, but for a minute it felt good to be like, what am I doing giving you all of my power? What am I doing giving these people all of my power when I can go and create this myself? So go figure, in the time that I was putting my head down and creating all of this value for other people, what happens when you do that is all of a sudden I created a platform. People wanted to listen to me. People were buying my cookbooks. People were coming to my workshops. And so when I started resubmitting to the magazine with a whole lot less expectation and a whole lot of detachment from if they choose me or not, that is when finally they said yes. Now, it wasn't the first submission. It's probably about 4 later. I attached some of the videos that I was doing of cooking live online. I was showing them how I could write recipes for the magazine. I could add a lot of value that way. I was showing them how I was about to go speak on stage at this network marketing company that I had joined, and I was about to be in front of 10,000 people. And I'd love it if I could put their cover in the back as I was up there, and I would make sure to get it out to all these people. And I realized that it was about adding value to them as a business. I realized the magazine was a business. They weren't just out here looking for pretty faces to promote people. It was like, hi, they have to make money too. What's in it for them? And so when I did that pitch, it was all focused instead of, do you see me? Do you see me? Do you see me? And it was, how can I add value? How can I help you get this magazine out? How can I, help sell copies? And this is how I think I can do it. I wrote up a marketing plan for them and the issue that I was going to come out on for them to say yes. And that is how it finally turned around. And so you guys, I want you to think of your life in terms of where you're waiting to be anointed. And I want you to look at it and say, where could I actually cut them out and create the feeling for myself? And create it in a small basis and put my head down so much that all of a sudden I become undeniable because of the communities I've created and the platforms that have so much value now. So I love you so much, but if you are stuck, I want you to know that you're giving your power away somewhere. And I do this all the time. I'm still in this. I still have moments right now where I'm going, I'm totally sabotaging myself because I'm believing that I'm not good enough for this or that I can't do it. And I know that I'm giving someone else my power. So let's start looking at those areas because I believe in you. I believe that if you found this podcast, it is for a reason. It is not by an accident. When you seek the teachers, they will come. And hopefully this is a moment for you that I can be like, hey, I think you're awesome, but I think you're giving your power to something that you literally need to steal it back from. You need to go take it back and take control and create it for yourself, even if it's small scale. In fact, I think small scale is the way to start. When we were in that room last night doing our live podcast, that's what we wanted to remind everyone of is, we were back in a small room, about 30 people. And, whether you think that's small or that's big, it felt amazing to kind of be like, I want to get this idea out there. I want to do a live podcast. And I kept waiting and Lindsay and I kept stalling and not doing it, even though we had the idea last year because we thought it had to be big. But it felt like a lot of work to sell 200, 300 tickets to an event. And so we were stopping ourselves and we're like, why are we doing this? We can just create this in a small way and get this feeling in our lives right now and have the best time ever, get back into community and create content in a fun way because we want more fun in our lives. So just sending you so much love. And I hope that this gives you a minute of cutting out the middleman and knowing that you can take that power back. But you guys, I would love for you to join my daily text list. It's also where I am sending the link to join our live living room sessions. We do them once a month. So if you want to go to that and if you want to get on my daily text, all you have to do is text the word daily to 310-496-8363. That's 310-496-8363. Just text the word daily. And you're also going to be able to find out when our next living room sessions are. They are selling out about a month or two in advance. So if the tickets do come up, I don't even have any to share right now because they're all sold out for next month as well. But if you do get a link for that, I would recommend buying it that second because they tend to sell out within the hour. But I hope that I get to see you there. And maybe next year we will make them bigger. But I do want to continue to do them every single month because it means so much to me to be in the room and seeing your faces. So I'm sending you so much love. And until next time, earn your happy. Hey all, I'm so excited to share with you, Earn Your Happy is now part of Growth Day Podcast Network. A bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and support shows and brands that we truly believe in. And one of my friends is also on the network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to his show. You guys, Trent Shelton has the most incredible podcast. It's called Straight Up with Trent Shelton, and it's going to remind you that you are built for this. I have heard Trent speak in person multiple times. I've listened to his podcast a ton. He's coming on the show and I literally cannot wait because this man just spits straight fire. It is like truth that goes to your core and makes you take action right away. If you want one of those podcasts that when you're just out on a walk, you can't help but want to start running and run through a wall in your life, this is the show to go listen to. So you guys make sure that you go subscribe to the show Straight Up with Trent Shelton. You're going to love it.
Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. And I want to make sure that you have my phone number, and I'm not kidding. Did you know that I have a community text number? For real. My phone number is 310-496-8363. This goes directly to my phone. All you have to do is text the word daily to 310-496-8363. And I literally text you every single day, Monday through Friday. I actually just got done 30 seconds ago texting a bunch of people back, and I talk to you all of the time. You guys, people always ask me how I got my community text number and how it works. Well, all you have to do is you can just go to community.com and get your own. Community makes it easy to get a phone number that you can use to build your audience using text. People just text you at your number and they're added to your group. Then you can text them out audios, video links, anything you want. You guys, I text out happy birthday videos. I love to send podcast links, thoughts about life, book recommendations, different events that I'm doing in the local area. Texting gets me out of the noise of social media and directly into your hand. And now you can start texting your people too. Just go to community.com to get your phone number. They give you a 10-digit real phone number, not those weird short codes that look like spam, but it's more than a phone number. Your new number comes with an inbox for SMS and texting. This means you can actually manage your text list from your computer and an app on your phone. You can schedule text to send at certain times and to certain groups. You can even set up auto replies or let your assistant or customer service team answer your text messages via Community's awesome dashboard. Just go to community.com and ask for a free demo. They'll show you how it works and get you your number. It's time to start texting your audience versus just posting on social media. Everyone uses Community for that. So go check them out at community.com. I can tell you it's not just great for communicating with my audience, but Chris and I use Community and our texts to also sell out our launches. I'm telling you, you get such an incredible response because you really are creating a true, deep sense of community. And it's so intimate. It's freaking amazing. Go check it out at community.com.